In addition, the parties have made a commitment to an all-inclusive national dialogue process with parties, civil society, labor, business, and other sectors to discuss critical challenges facing the nation. The national dialogue process will seek to develop a national social compact that enables the country to meet the aspirations of the National Development Plan. The ANC has circulated the Statement of Intent document and is giving parties the space to engage with the Statement of Intent. The ANC will sign the agreement with every political party that agrees to form the government of national unity. We have started signing with the Democratic Alliance. The government of national unity is on track. The ANC has now successfully formed governments in the 6 provinces that we have won, and formed government of provincial unity in Gauteng province and KwaZulu-Natal. In Gauteng, the Premier and the Speaker from the ANC have been elected unopposed. We wish to congratulate Comrade Panyaza Lesufi, the incoming Premier, and Comrade Murakani Musupia. In KwaZulu-Natal, Comrade Nontobeko Boyce has been elected. Will cooperate in that government as led by the IFP with the election of the Premier today in KwaZulu-Natal legislature. We further congratulate Comrade Lubabalo Oscar Mabuyane, serving his 2nd term as Premier of the Eastern Cape. Comrade Makwin Litsua Mataye, the new Premier of the Free State. Comrade Popi Constance Ramatuba, the new Premier of Limpopo. Comrade Mandan Dlovu, the new Premier of Mpumalanga. Comrade Kagiso Mukhosi, the new Premier of the Northwest Province, and Comrade Zamani Saul, the Premier of the Northern Cape, serving his 2nd term. We wish to also bring to your attention that the ANC have appointed in the National Parliament Ntumiseni Ntuli as the new Chief Whip of the African National Congress. Comrade Togoti Tiza is now contesting, and we are waiting for the results to become the new Speaker of the National Assembly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, SG. We'll now turn to questions.
Okay, I have a question. I'm sorry, I'm on the floor because I'm also on mic stand.
Okay.
My name's Diane Hawker from Deutsche Welle. My question relates to the arrangement, the government of national unity arrangement. It looks like the ANC has gotten into bed, as it were, with a number of parties who were quite strongly campaigning against the ANC. The DA saying that the country needs to be saved from the ANC, and also on the campaign trail, essentially painting the ANC as quite a bad guy. How does the ANC and the DA and other parties, how do they move forward from that point after so many comments of that nature?
National unity is not a melting pot. It's a desire and a strategic point of prioritizing the country across ideological political divide. It does not mean that political parties cease to say the things they said. Should we get into the government of national unity, and there are issues that we need to be held accountable about. If you look at the legislatures emphasizes the principle of accountability, which we embrace as the ANC. Now that the cooperation will be broadened to other political parties, will even deepen accountability within the legislatures. That is most welcome by the ANC. When we're governing and governing alone, we were actually accused of fudging most of the things and not being open to accountability. Now what it means is that our ministers will be held accountable through government and the legislatures to do better for South Africans. The ANC have always embraced the principle of transparency. We're going into this government of national unity, and in this framework and in its foundational principles in the beginning, without fears. Because at the end of the day, if you fear to be transparent, to be accountable, you wouldn't embrace accountability. We're deepening democracy, and we are ready to get into the government of national unity with everyone who wants to work for the good of the South African people and serve the people of South Africa.
Usiphamanda kwakhe from ENCA, who else will be signing? Please give us the names of the political parties. How are you going to share this power? Who is getting what in terms of executive positions and the legislature? Surely you have a draft that you are working on right now.
No, the draft does not speak about positions because that becomes transactional. The draft talks about the foundational principles of what we want to achieve within the government of national unity. You will know the composition of government of national unity when the president announces, having engaged and consulted with different political parties who want to participate. The ANC have outlined that we don't go for one party, two party coalition, grand coalition. We go for government of national unity. Parties have embraced that, and we are engaging beyond this sitting in relation to what needs to be done after the inauguration, when the president is inaugurated, and how are we going to constitute the government of national unity. We are going, our work doesn't stop. We will be working with the strategic framework of the government of national unity. We've got a statement of intent that we have distributed to political parties to make comment. Things are fluid, they work out very fast. The Chief Justice said today, we thought we will meet on the 19th, so there's no time to waste time. So we need to move forward. We need stability, we need to bring assurances to the masses of our people, first and foremost South Africans who have voted, including those who have not voted, that the country is in safe hands and we are moving forward. And today is a remarkable step in the aftermath of the 29th of May, that we've started electing the Speaker and we've sworn in the MPs. We're in full swing. In no time we'll leave tonight with the President being elected and the Deputy Speaker. So when the President engages and talks to political parties, and when we finalize our strategic framework, we will talk about the issues that we need to talk about with other political parties that they will want them to be addressed within the framework of the government of national unity. We have signed with the Democratic Alliance already in terms of the way forward, and that is what is important. So we will sign also with other political parties. Remember, we are leading in relation to this particular matter, but the question of leadership is not an issue. It's a question of what are you able to do with others, which is the principle of GNU. Others have embraced and they are prepared to come on board. Others will not be party to it. They will be outside government of national unity and still become public representative of South Africa through their political parties. That is most welcome.
Still on the point of accountability, earlier on the Democratic Alliance held a briefing where they basically, when it comes to the calls that they've continuously made insofar as the arrest of senior ANC officials implicated in state capture, that does not necessarily cease now that they form part of this government of national unity. The deputy president is one person that they've been gunning for the longest time. What then happens in such an instance? Does the ANC still close rank even though you're not necessarily a majority, especially as well when you look at the reinstating of the Phala Phala report? Was this also part of the discussions behind closed doors?
Political parties do not cease to be who they are and what they represent because of government of national unity. Let me explain. Government of national unity is for the good of the country, to work together, to run the country, to work together, to be in the legislatures, to work together. It doesn't mean that political parties cease to be who they are and what they believe in. So it's not an arrangement where in which you cease to be a political party and become a branch of the ANC. And you kill your identity and your beliefs. They will be what they are. Neither will we change to be who we are. We believe in minimum wage for the workers. DA doesn't believe in that. We will not change in this government of national unity because we believe in that. We believe in affirmative action. Our foreign policy believe in multilateralism and working with other countries, but at the same time to solidify determination of others. It won't change. So there's no question about thinking that political parties now, because there is a government of national unity, they cease to operate. All what it emphasizes is stability. Let's deliver for the people of South Africa. Let's do things right. If the ANC has got things that the DA believes that they can take us on, including our public representatives, the principle of transparency and guaranteed and enshrined in our constitution in terms of Chapter 9 institutions to hold each other accountable exist. The ANC has never been opposed to that. The belief that we cushion corruption is not there in the ANC principles. It is only the perceptions that have been deeply entrenched in society that have made everyone to believe that we are cozy with corruption, and DA doesn't want corruption, ANC love corruption and all of that. Hence, we have implemented the renewal program of the ANC, and it doesn't cease. And it was not a program born out of what the DA says. It was born out of the practical experiences and the voices of our people and the mandate of our national conference that we renew or die. It is important that we deal with perceptions practically and put measures in place to deal with that. Coming here in this election is one of the issues that we had to talk about, and which we know as we have passed now that period going forward. As part of the mandate we have received from the masses of our people, those issues must be addressed, and the ANC must continue to deepen not only its understanding but the implementation of its renewal programs to cleanse itself of the image of a party that embraces corruption. Now that we've got a government of national unity, it is most welcome, and therefore robust discussion do not cease among political parties. Ideological differences will not cease among political parties. For the interest of the country, we said, let's work together and move South Africa. We've got no fear in that, because we know we hold our own in relation to governing this country and deepening the national democratic revolution and transformation.
Mail and Guardian, please, the hand up for a long time.
The governing, the GNU should have it should be consulted in when you are trying to recruit or when another party is coming in. Now, with the DA having said that they are against the red line is the EFF and MK party, and you saying right now that you will still have negotiations with the MK party, will you be going together with the DA to the MK party? How does it work?
No, it doesn't work like that. It is our own bilateral arrangement in terms of the MK party and keeping the door open to engaging with them, and it cannot be determined by another party. When we're discussing with the DA, they put the red lines, which we appreciated, but at the end of the day, we are not negotiating the red lines. We are negotiating what is good for South Africans. And on that score, we actually agree. But from the point of view of the ANC, it doesn't mean that we are hamstrung to engage and to talk to other parties in the context of what is good for South Africa. And that is it. And if MK party itself, let's say in the discussion and engagement, wishes to participate and do any other thing, it will be determined by the process of engagement. And that is what is important for us. So So it's not going to be determined by the DA. We went to speak to MK and spoke to the EFF, despite the red lines that if they come into the government of national unity, they will not participate. And even others said, we will not speak to others. And we managed to navigate through this particular process, having not undermined what we believe in as a party, and talk to everybody. So the spirit of talking is very important, and dialogue. We're talking about national dialogue in relation to one of the things we have agreed to. That process will actually continue.
Stephen from GNU, how would you describe the ANC's performance in the previous administration, when you were the governing party, and with regards to the elections and the outcome thereof, what would you say have been the biggest lessons for the ANC going forward?
Well, we will address that question in the next coming weeks. We believe we did well, and the gauge is the outcome of the election. 6 million people agree with us to continue to govern, to continue to work for South Africans. 6 million people in a low voter turnout. But that, nonetheless, that is the biggest number that is reflected in our public representatives here in this parliament. With reduced majority, 159, we are still number one in South Africa. The ANC must learn, must accept the difficulties, and then if we are to turn the situation around, it is going to be important that it must be well informed, and we must be truthful to ourselves. So that moment is coming, and we already know, and as we were campaigning, what were the defects in our renewal project. Social distance with the people. People opened their houses. No one shut the ANC out when we were campaigning, which is a demonstration that they still believe in the African National Congress. But you'll get the voices that say, yes, move forward, we see what you are doing, but don't come to us only when there is an election. It is important. Mass-based party, revolutionary party must behave as such and not become something else. If we behave like we have been, fighting for positions, fighting for conferences, and forget about the people, we will be wiped out. We will be wiped out, we'll lose power. The people have not just warned us, they have actually spoken very loud. And the task of a party to come back from that, it means let's accentuate and accelerate the things we agreed that needs to be done, to demonstrate to South Africans that indeed this is our movement, as they will have demonstrated. Otherwise, if that is not the case, the revolution will not just be reversed or suffer a setback, will be politically obliterated. We must avoid that.
Okay. What about the future of the case in the International Court of Justice?
Nothing will change. The case continues. Nothing will change. Our foreign policy, like I said, still intact as we go forward. So nothing will change in relation to what we as the ANC believe in going forward.
So the last question.
Oh no, I just wanted to follow up on the foreign policy, because the Palestinians have, the advisor for President Abbas has called on South Africans to not vote for the DA and to not have any alliance with them. So how will this now...
We are not controlled by the DA. This is South Africa, a multi-party democracy. In our situation in South Africa, we've got opponents whom we define as our adversaries. And at the same time, they are hold their own. You know, the spirit of our constitution, our democracy, allows political parties to express themselves. We appreciate the support we got from the Muslim community, and at the same time, because of the work that we have done, that will continue to do to solidarize with the people of Palestine. It was not an election stance. It did not start with us. It started with Mandela. It started with Oliver Tambo. It started with Albert Lutuli. It started long time ago. It is who we are. We are not free unless others are free and are fighting for their own freedom and their own self-determination. This is who we are. We are the African National Congress. You can't take that away from us. So when people are facing challenges elsewhere in the world, like we too faced those challenges in South Africa. And then they went to the UN and they said that apartheid must be declared a crime against humanity. We cannot, when we are free, not use that status to fight for the liberation of others. The people of Western Sahara, the people of Palestine, the embargo against the people of Cuba will become and will always be part and parcel of the ANC agenda going forward. Nothing will change with regard to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.